Welcome to Canadian Football League Weekly, presented by the World of Football. Each week, we recap the games played up north in the CFL, and we also take a look at next week's games. Our mission here is to educate American football fans on the teams and players in the CFL in the hopes that you will come to love this league as much as we do. I'm Randy Snow, and I'm joined by my son, Adam.
Hi, everybody. Yep, I'm still wearing the same Bear Suck shirt. It's been a great 24 hours since that last Lions game, but I just been wearing it all day.
Yeah, it probably smells pretty ripe by now.
Actually, it doesn't. It smells like BLTs because that's what we had for dinner tonight.
Any Bears fans at work give you?
Oh, heck yeah! Oh, it was great. I rubbed it in their faces. I brought my flag, and yeah, it was just a good old time. One guy even wore my. I brought the flag. He wore it as a cape for a hot second. He's like, "All right, take this crap off me." But we're not here to talk that. We're here to talk CFL, Randy. Let's give the people what they want.
That's right. We're going to get right into the scores from Week 15 in the Canadian Football League, and it started out on Friday night with the Hamilton Tiger Cats over the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, 32-21. Hamilton led 10-7 at the end of the first quarter, and they also led 20-10 at halftime. The two teams exchanged field goals in the third quarter for a 23-13 Hamilton lead, and the Ticats cruised to an 11-point win, 32-21. Well, there wasn't much drama in this game. It was all Ticats all the time. This was the first meeting between these two teams this summer or this season, which seems a little unusual that the first time they've met in Week 15, but it was. Let's see, Winnipeg quarterback Chris Strevler started in place of the injured Zach Collaros. We didn't know all week long. They didn't say how serious Collaros's injury was. He took a hard hit, and they talked about a possible concussion or whatever. But all I know is that they ruled him out for this week. I have no idea going ahead whether he's going to play or not. But he did start and play this game. And anything else you want to talk about? Did you see the highlights of this game?
I did. It was a very busy weekend over here, so didn't get to watch any of these live. I made sure to try to watch as much of the highlights as I can. And hey there, Royce. I know there's a Monday Night Football game going on tonight, so I'm sure a lot of people are watching that, not us, and that's fine. Our schedules, we just had to record a little later tonight. So yeah, the highlights from this one, pretty good. Hamilton looked pretty dang good. Winnipeg, with a backup quarterback, just does not look like the same team. Strevler could only do so much, and it just felt like, it was Hamilton's pretty much for a majority of this game.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I don't know if Hamilton was playing inspired or not, but their GM, Ted Govia, I think is how you pronounce his last name, he passed away this past week after a battle with cancer. Govia had also been the GM of the Toronto Argonauts and led that team to a Grey Cup title in 2012. He was also the assistant general manager and director of player personnel for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers the last couple of years, up until last season. And he led that team to 2 Grey Cup championships in 2019 and 2021. You might remember that the team was wearing guitar stickers on the back of their helmets this year in honor of him with his battle with cancer, because he's a big fan of the guitar, and so they put that on their helmets, and they were wearing that all season long. I'm sure they'll wear it the rest of the season now, but kind of sad to hear. He had a long career, was successful with 3 different CFL teams, helping them build up and get to Grey Cup games and win them, and it's a sad thing. So I'm sure they're going to play the rest of the season in his honor, and try and win another one for him.
Yeah, they had I forget what the shirts kept saying. Wasn't it like for Ted or something like that? They had a whole branding thing.
Yeah,
but I'm like scrolling through their or Team Ted. That's what it is. I see the
Team Ted
t-shirts.
That's right,
on their social media. So that's pretty cool. Again, sucks. You losing a person like that was so fundamental to building up a few franchises over the years. So big loss for not only the Ticats but the CFL family as a whole. So it always sucks when somebody like that passes.
Oh, yeah. All right. You want to get into the stats for this game?
Sure. Let's talk some stats. For Hamilton, the victors there, Bo Levi Mitchell went 21 of 28 passing for 230 yards and 2 touchdowns. Running back Greg Bell carried the ball 22 times for 137 yards and a touchdown. He also had 3 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown, while wide receiver Kenny Lawler had 7 catches for 90 yards. Kicker Mark Leggio was 4 for 4 on field goals, the longest of which came from 43 yards. For Winnipeg, Chris Strevler, obviously filling in for Caleros, went 18 of 29 for 241 yards. He had a touchdown and a couple of bad picks. He also ran 11 times for 82 yards and had a rushing touchdown on top of that.
Yeah. 82 yards rushing. Not bad for a quarterback in the CFL.
There's a couple of plays where he just had green grass. He just took it. So if you can make that kind of play, the CFL, it always seems like there's a pocket of grass somewhere. You just got to time it right and get there. Brady Oliveira, running back for the Blue Bombers, ran the ball 15 times for 116 yards, and wide receiver Ontario Wilson had 5 catches for 74 yards. And you were had some issues over the weekend. One of your dogs had some complications, so you've been back and forth between Kalamazoo and Grand Rapids. And now you're back home. That's why we're recording late tonight. Dog home tonight, so that's good. You're listening to this game on Sirius XM.
Yeah, I knew it was out there somewhere, and there's a channel called Canada Talk, and they carry some of the CFL games at times, and I could not remember the number, and I'm trying to drive, and I'm searching for the game, and my wife's trying to find it, and finally we did. Station 167 on Sirius XM. It's called Canada Talk, and so I was able to listen to most of this game as we were driving. The dog got sick last week. We had to take it to the hospital Friday night, and so we drove up to Grand Rapids, which is an hour away, and so it was a late night for us. And then Saturday we went up to see him. We went up to see him Sunday, and today we went back and we actually picked him up. He had some really big problems, but he seems to be much better now. But he may have some long-term issues going on. But it's been a crazy weekend. But I did get to see a couple of these games on Friday night. So let's get into the second game, which was also last Friday night. The BC Lions over the Ottawa Redblacks, 38-27. BC led this game 28-13 at halftime. They also led 38-19 after 3 quarters. BC was shut out in the fourth quarter, but they still won the game easily, 38-27. That's pretty nice when you can get shut out in the fourth quarter and still had enough points up there to win the game.
At a couple points, because I when I watched the highlights, I didn't even know any of the scores. I tried, if I don't catch any of the games over the weekend, I try not to look at any of the scores, so I had no idea. But it felt like it was Ottawa coming back again like last week, because these two teams played last week, and Ottawa had the big comeback. Dustin Crum looked great and pulled that team back for the victory against BC. I thought, here we go again. Ottawa's about to mount a comeback, but the BC Lions defense hung tough, and despite the offense not getting anything done in the fourth quarter, they held on for that victory. I definitely thought we were getting another great comeback this weekend, but it wasn't in this game. There's a different game that we got the comeback. So
yeah. All right.
So your stats, you want me to go there?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right, your stats from this one, everybody. BC Lions quarterback Nathan Rourke went 21-26 for 308 yards and a touchdown. He also ran for 36 yards and had 2 rushing touchdowns. Running back James Butler ran the ball 13 times for 44 yards and a touchdown. And wide receiver Keon Hatcher had 5 catches for 97 yards and a touchdown. For Ottawa, quarterback Dustin Crum was 30 of 35 passing for 307 yards and a touchdown. He also led the team in rushing with 58 yards and also had 2 rushing touchdowns like his counterpart across the field there from him. Wide receiver Braylon Addison had 11 catches for 132 yards, and wide receiver Justin Hardy had 9 catches for 100 yards. And he also had a touchdown on top of that. Wide receiver Khalil Pimpleton had a combined 104 return yards between kickoffs and punt returns. We all know Dad likes to talk about Mr. Khalil Pimpleton.
From Central Michigan University, yes.
From Central Michigan University.
Yeah, this wasn't too much of a contest. I mean, it was BC all the way, but Ottawa did make a bit of a game of it in the end. Like I said, they shut out BC in the fourth quarter, but still just not enough to win this game. All right. Not only do we have this podcast about the CFL, but we also have a weekly podcast called This Week in the World of Football, where we talk about all things football. This week's episode is going to be number 411. Yeah, we've been doing this for 8 years,
Oof.
411 episodes. A couple of things from this week. I haven't even got around to put a lot of the stats together for tomorrow's show, but I do know we're going to have scores from the NFL and all levels of college football, and who knows what else we'll find when I start digging into things tomorrow. But
I was wondering, it's been so chaotic over the football weekend between college and NFL and CFL. I was like, I don't even know what our headliner is yet. The closest I could
yep,
think of is maybe the Joe Burrow injury. That's been a big
yeah,
thing the last
yep,
day or so. I mean, that's, man, you hate to see that. We got 2 Monday night games going on right now, so who knows what kind of stories come out of those 2 games tonight. So
yep.
it'll be a grab bag, and we'll have something up tomorrow. We'll still aim for a 4 o'clock show because we got dinner plans tomorrow night. We're getting family together, so
Uh-huh.
just be on the lookout for that tomorrow. Like I said, we'll settle on a topic, and Randy will have more time tomorrow to come up with a top 3. But yeah, come join us again, because there's National Arena League news. We got Salina Liberty making another announcement about a later announcement. So they made an announcement about an announcement that's happening later this week, which we all kind of already figured is them moving to the NAL, but we'll wait for it to be official. And
Right.
yeah, but we got a couple more CFL games to get to, Randy. So is that what you want to do?
Yeah. Yeah, 2 games on Saturday, and to me, this was the game of the week. I mean,
Oh
I
yeah,
I mean, the last game was pretty darn good too, but this one really got to my heart. Right here, right over my heart with the Toronto Argonauts logo.
mm.
Toronto Argonauts over the Edmonton Elks, 31-30. Boy, it sure didn't look like this was going to happen for
Oh
three quarters or more than 3 quarters. Edmonton led this game 14-3 at halftime. They also led 24-14 after the third quarter, but then with 3 minutes and 3 seconds left in the game, Toronto took a 28-27 lead. Their first lead of the game, by the way, with 3 minutes left. And that was after a fumble recovery and a 10-yard touchdown run by defensive lineman Andrew Chatfield Jr. Edmonton regained the lead with a minute 14 left on a field goal, and then it was 30-18 in favor of Edmonton. But as time expired, Toronto kicker Liram Hairolahu kicked the game-winning 48-yard field goal for the come-from-behind walk-off win. This was actually the second week in a row that he's done this. Won the game on not second week, second game in a row that he's done this. Kicked a walk-off field goal as time expired. So yeah, it was all Edmonton this game. They just had Toronto's number, but boy, at the end, Toronto found a way to win that fumble recovery. The guy caught the pass, and it was Tyler Snead caught a pass and was on the 1 yard line, and he fumbled, and the ball was laying there on the 1 yard line, and this offensive lineman, this Andrew Chatfield, picked it up and just kind of rolled in the end zone, and so he got the touchdown for that. What a crazy play! And yeah, that was the difference pretty much. They swapped field
yeah.
goals after that. But like I said, second game in a row that Hairolahu did this. Toronto quarterback Nick Arbuckle was injured in the fourth quarter of this game, and he was replaced by Jared Daggy. His name is spelled a lot different. They were pronouncing it Daggy. There's an O in there somewhere, but so I wrote it phonetically. But yeah, Jared Daggy replaced him with about 5 minutes left in the game. He was just 3 of 6 passing for 35 yards, but he got them in field goal range and saved the game for him there.
Mm-hmm.
There was also, you'll remember this, Adam, a week or so ago, wide receiver Jake Herslow made that
Oh yeah.
incredible leap over another player. And you probably didn't see this.
Oh, I saw this. Don't worry, I saw
Did you
these
see?
highlights. Because
He did.
so you texted me about this game because I was we were hanging with the in-laws on Saturday, so I was not able to watch this game. But you texted me, and I'm like, I missed it. Watching the highlights, he leapt and he got hit pretty hard. That dude for the Elks used the hit stick, and that was a pretty good wallop. And he got flagged for it, which I think, no offense, I think that was a bullcrap call. If a guy's going to try to leap you, I mean, what are you supposed to do?
Well, I saw the replay again, and at first I didn't know that the defender was penalized for this. But yeah, they both leapt up in the air at the same time, and he kind of led with his helmet. The defender did, and that's why they called it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was an incredible play. I mean, you thought, oh boy, he's going to make another great hurdle, and boy, that other guy matched him,
Nope.
and they knocked heads and both went down on the ground. Oh my gosh, check out
Yeah,
that
I
play,
just
folks.
that was a good highlight, a good hit. I don't like the flag. I as much as it helped the Argos, I don't know if I like that. If the dude's gonna leap you, what are you supposed to do, Randy? What are you supposed to do? If the guy's trying to go over your head, where else is your head supposed to go? Is my question. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
CFL cleaned that one up. That was a little ridiculous to me, but no, like between that and then he had oh man, he was involved in a couple plays. He had a couple great touchdowns, and
Yep,
then he had a play where he had the ball, but then the was it Ford, the defensive back for the Elks, just came and just snatched it right out of his hands.
yep,
So
yep.
when that happened, he got redemption later with the touchdown. So he had so Herslow got to see both sides a couple of times, like a good play and a bad play. He was on
Yeah,
the receiving and giving end of a few of those. So that was
yeah.
entertaining there. And if it weren't against the Argos, I would feel really bad for the Elks. And it almost feels like a game that we saw when we went to Toronto last year, because didn't the Argos win that on the last second field goal as well?
I believe
Or
they
the
did.
Elks missed a
Yes.
field goal? Yeah, it was something like that. Maybe the Elks
Yeah.
missed it, but it was so typical Elks Argos meetup, I guess.
Yeah, my last note from this game is that Toronto committed 6 turnovers in this game. Uh, Edmonton committed no turnovers, uh, and Edmonton scored 27 points as a result of those 6 turnovers. So basically, Toronto was just handing them 26 points during the game, but they still found a way to win at the end. So yeah, it was a
Yeah.
crazy game, great ending, great for Argos fans. I wish I could have been there for this one because that was
So
exciting.
so with all those turnovers, did that give you any flashbacks to something Lions related at all?
No, not a thing.
Oh, it gave me Jared Goff throwing the 5 interceptions and somehow the Lions still found a way to win vibes. I was like, there's no way. Like, even though you obviously you texted me about the game, I'm watching
Yeah.
the highlights. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. They keep turning the ball over. Edmonton keeps scoring. Edmonton looks great. How does Toronto pull this one out? And even I'm stunned in disbelief at the end of this one still. But let's talk some stats, shall we? Maybe that'll clear things up, or maybe it'll just make things even murkier. The Toronto Argonauts, as the victors, they get their stats read first. Quarterback Nick Arbuckle, before he got hurt, 21 of 31 during the game for 261 yards. He threw 2 touchdowns and count them, 4 interceptions during this game. So not quite as bad as Jared Goff's 5 against Houston last year. Wide receiver Makai Polk had 6 catches for 95 yards. Wide receiver Jake Herslow, as we kept talking about, he had 4 catches for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns. Kicker Lyram Hiralahu was 3 for 3 on his field goals, the longest of which was from 53 yards. For Edmonton, quarterback Cody Fajardo was 25 of 28 for 229 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Running back Justin Rankin, who we love seeing out there, he had 27 yards rushing and a 4-yard touchdown reception. Wide receiver Keon Julian Grant had 5 catches for 61 yards and a touchdown, while kicker Vincent Blanchard was 3 for 3 on his field goals, the longest of which from 31 yards.
Yeah, just Justin Rankin didn't have a very good day rushing compared to some of his other games lately, but he did have a 4-yard touchdown catch, and that kept the game close for Edmonton. But yeah, just a little off his mark on running because man, he is something else when he gets running
Oh, yeah.
downfield. Man, you can't stop him.
Heck yeah.
All right, so finally, the last game of the weekend, this was also a Saturday night game, saw the Montreal Alouettes defeat the team with the best record in the entire CFL, the Saskatchewan Roughriders, by the score of 48-31. This was a rainy night in Saskatchewan, so I don't know if that played a big part in the outcome, but boy, oh boy, Montreal led this game 10-3 after the first quarter. They were up 28-10 at halftime. Montreal continued to lead 31-17 after 3 quarters, and with 4 minutes of, I'm sorry here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm getting a few of these games mixed up. With 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, wide receiver Tyler Snead caught a pass and fumbled the ball on the goal line. It was recovered by Montreal offensive lineman Donald Ventrelli for a 1-yard touchdown. I don't know what was making me think this was in the other game, but
I don't know.
That was in this game here, giving the Alouettes a 45-24 lead. Montreal would go on to win the game 48-31 in a huge upset on the road.
Yeah.
Who saw this one coming? Nobody.
The only person I could think of, and you know who I'm about to say.
No.
Oh, Tim Capper. I mean, Montreal Alouettes fan. I mean, if anybody saw them
Yeah.
winning this game, it was him, right? I would assume Tim was all over this one. But
Yeah.
I mean, to win in Saskatchewan, though, right now, the way that team has been playing, and to only be, well, now the Rough Riders have 3 losses, to only be the second team to beat them, the only team in the East to beat them so far. So, very interesting there. Good for the Alouettes to getting back in the winning column because they were in jeopardy of just sliding down the standings with Toronto getting a win earlier that night. So, Montreal just staying a little bit afloat, or at least staying in playoff contention right now.
Yeah, Montreal snapped a 5-game losing streak, and their defense was just, I put down, they played out of their minds. They were all over the place. They were knocking down passes. They were dropping people behind the line of scrimmage. They were sacking the quarterback. That defense was just awesome. And you said like the third loss for Saskatchewan this year. The other 2 losses, the Calgary Stampeders. So that's another stat there. Saskatchewan quarterback Trevor Harris threw his 200th career touchdown pass in the game. In the closing minutes, Trevor Harris was replaced by Jake Mayer, and Mayer went 6 of 10 passing for 118 yards and a touchdown. He was not there very long, but he did eat up some yards and threw a touchdown pass, but it wasn't enough. Even with the loss, Saskatchewan still clinched a playoff spot, the first one to do so this season in the CFL.
So yeah, so that I guess I must have missed that note. Otherwise, I would have put that in the little standings graphic there. But I'll fix that for tomorrow.
And you mentioned Tim Capper. I was wearing my Toronto Argonaut shirt, and I was going to have a Montreal T-shirt under here. I was going to take this off and reveal the Montreal T-shirt, but I don't have a T-shirt of Montreal. All I've got's this, and I couldn't really change shirts. But Tim, I recognize your team had a great game. So there.
Randy with the wardrobe right there at his disposal.
All right, let's get into the stats now.
All right, for Montreal, quarterback McLeod Bethel Thompson, or MBT as he's like to be called up there, was 20 of 26 for 379 yards and 3 touchdowns. Excuse me. Running back Stevie Scott III carried the ball 19 times for 125 yards, and wide receiver Tyson Philpott had 9 catches for, get this, 238 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm starting to lose my voice. Kicker Jose Maltos was 4 for 6 on field goals, the longest of which from 52 yards. Why don't you take it away, Dad? I'm about to cough my lungs out.
Okay. Yeah. And then on the Saskatchewan side, quarterback Trevor Harris was 23 of 32 passing for 252 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Running back A.J. Ouellette ran the ball 16 times for 90 yards and a touchdown. Wide receiver Ajo had 8 catches for 95 yards, and wide receiver Dante Myers had 7 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. Wide receiver Mario Alford had 5 kickoff returns for a total of 112 yards in the game. And on bye this past week was the Calgary Stampeders. All right, let's move on to the standings after week 15 in the West Division. Man, must be catching.
Oh, no, now you caught it. Oh, no.
In the West Division, the Saskatchewan Roughriders stand at 10-3, Calgary Stampeders at 8-4, Winnipeg Blue Bombers at 6-7, as well as the BC Lions at 6-7, and the Edmonton Elks at 5-8. In the East Division, it's the Hamilton Tiger Cats at 8-5, Montreal Alouettes at 6-7, Toronto Argonauts at 5-8, and the Ottawa Red Blacks at 4-9. Looking ahead to next week, week 16 in the CFL, we've got 2 games on Friday, 2 games on Saturday. On Friday, it's Montreal at Toronto and BC at Calgary. And then on Saturday, it's going to be Winnipeg at Ottawa and Edmonton at Hamilton, with Saskatchewan on a bye. All of these games are going to be on CFL Plus. There are no CBS Sportsnet games this week, so I'm going to have to pull out your laptop or your phone to watch any of these games this week. I'll be excited to see the Toronto game again.
Oh yeah, that'll be a good one. A
Yeah,
lot of these matchups I'm liking. I mean, the Calgary BC game will be interesting.
yeah.
Montreal Toronto, obviously. Edmonton
Yep.
Hamilton. Uh, I think we got 4 good games. A lot of
Sure.
interesting stuff could happen. We'll see with Winnipeg sliding. Uh, Ottawa has the potential to maybe get a win there. So I mean, playoff pushing and shoving is happening, and we're getting down to the wire now. We only got like 5 weeks left,
Yeah, I think so.
so
Yep,
we're getting there.
got our first team to clinch a playoff spot in Saskatchewan. No surprise there. They've been the cream of the crop this year in the CFL. All
Yeah,
right.
sure have.
Anything else that you want to bring up before we call this a show?
Not really. I need to sit down and watch more. I think the one game I did sit down and start watching was that first. Now that I think about it, I think I did actually catch some of the Winnipeg Hamilton game for like a hot second the other night, but didn't last long. We had other stuff going on, so I couldn't
Yeah.
stick around with it. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely going to tune into that Montreal and Toronto game.
Yeah.
That's hot. I'm circling that one. Got to
Yep.
watch that one.
Absolutely. All right. That's all the time we got for this week. Tune in again next week when Adam and I will review all the games played up north of the border. We'll be here throughout the CFL regular season and the postseason, as well as the 112th Grey Cup game in Winnipeg on November 16th. Check out highlights of all these games in the CFL each week at cfl.ca/videos. If you have any questions about the CFL, you can ask them down in the comment section of this video. If we don't know the answer, we've got Canadian friends who would love to correct us and tell us what we don't know. So remember, folks, some people may love football more than we do, but nobody, and I mean nobody, loves more football than Adam and I sitting here in Kalamazoo, Michigan, talking about the Canadian Football League. Until next time, I'm Randy Snow.
And I'm Adam Snow. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night, 4 o'clock Eastern time for This Week in the World of Football. Then 7 p.m. Eastern time on Wednesday night to check out our weekly NFL picks. Not going to lie, I'm doing pretty good this week so far.
Yes, you are. You are one of the best pickers this week. We'll see how that works out after these 2 Monday night games.
Hey, we shall see. But we'll see you guys then. Thanks for checking us out, guys.
All right. Yeah, we'll see you sometime next week, somewhere around the 55-yard line.